choir. It's been a little while since we've been able to have a sing together, and I don't know about you, but I've really missed it. So I've made this video to allow us to virtually sing together and keep these songs going over in your head, because it's been a very long time since we've sung them, and as you guys all know, if we want to be able to do this competition next year, we need to do lots of practice and make sure it is perfect. So even though we can't be together, it doesn't mean we can't have a practice and we can't have a sing. So we're going to start off with This Day, okay? And I know you guys prefer Viva La Vida, but this seems like it's an easier one because it's a bit slower, but that just means it's even that just means that it's even more important that we get it perfect, because it's going to be easier to pick up on our mistakes on this one. So before we get going, I'm going to just go through a couple of things that we need to keep in mind when we're singing this song. So first thing is, the first verse is going to possibly be a solo, but that means that we need to know it very well for that. So the more you practice, the better you'll be, the more likely you might have a solo. But it's not definite, depends how it goes. Second thing is that it does go quite low in the verses of this song. So remember, singing low, we don't look down, because that just squishes our vocal cords. We need to still look up. We need to open our mouth really wide to help us. Big deep breaths. And sitting up nice and straight. Okay? If you're hunched over, chin down, it's going to be much harder to sing it. You want to try and get lots of breath through it. Don't try and croak it out. Okay. Then, what have we got next? Where's my list gone? I've lost it. There it is. Okay. So in each verse, the end of the second phrase, I guess, we need to make sure we're coming off nice and quick. So it's, and once it has vanished. After that, we need to come off really quick. And once it has vanished. Yeah, it's not held on really long, because we need that break before we come back on. And once it has vanished, it will not come again. And the same with the other verse, not all our money. And so before it's too late to come off on that, I want a gap between that and the next bit. Then we need to talk about swooping. You know how I feel about swooping, so just make sure you're listening really carefully to yourself, and if you hear any swoops, practice those jumps and those leaps, and do it just like we do it. Have that gap in the middle, and then slowly make that gap shorter and shorter and shorter until you're singing the two separate notes rather than all of the notes in between. Okay, so at the end of each verse, before this day is gone, it is a very long note. It's 6 beats. Before this day is gone. Is that the bit? Yeah. So, yeah. It's a very long note on gone. It's 6 whole beats, so make sure you're holding that. And if you do need to breathe, as what I always say, breathe in a place that's not very obvious. So don't breathe after day, okay? Or after is. Don't go, before this day is gone. Because if everyone does that, we don't get that nice, smooth feeling, okay? So you need to make sure you're breathing in a place that's really not obvious. So it might be after before, or even in the middle of a word. If you need to breathe in the middle of gone, that's fine. But remember my rule, not that you can do it here, you just can't breathe the same time as the person next to you. So you might go, before this day is gone. Yeah? Okay. Second verse, different timings. Okay? We have an extra little note after the first phrase, and then we miss one out later on. This day is fleeting. No, sorry, I did that wrong. That is the extra note. This day is fleeting when it slips away. Not all our money can buy back this day. Yeah, you need to make sure you remember those different timings there. Remember where we're breathing, especially in the bridge. So we don't want to hear those breaths where we don't want them. Rhythm at the very end, our rhythm is slightly different. Okay, so on the after the last verse, where are we? So after let us share love, let us share God. Then it goes, before this day is gone. Yep, so that is much shorter, and day is higher than normal. And again, gone is very long. And after that, we have one last before this day is gone, but the timing's very different for here as well. So it's all one note. Before this day is gone. Yeah, so watch out for those bits. What else? Yeah, and just keep in mind all those dynamics that we have for it. So how loud or how quiet we want. So it starts off really quiet, piano. And it stays all quiet all the way through the first verse. And then we're going to get a little bit louder for verse 2, but not too loud, about mezzo piano, quite quiet. And then when we get to the bridge, this day we're given is golden, it goes straight to forte. Okay, so we're going to have a crescendo on that last word of verse 2, spent, straight into forte, really loud for that bridge. This day we're given is golden. And then at the very end of the bridge, we have a diminuendo for let us so love, back into a very quiet verse, and we end very quietly as well. Okay, so what's going to happen is there's going to be a recording of me singing with other Miss Shackleton playing the piano. So just what I'd like you to do is just listen to it first, because I'm doing everything that I want you to do with it. So listen to it, really listen, get to know it, pick out all those bits that I've just spoken about, see if you can spot them, and then have a go at singing it yourself. And this is up here forever now, so you can listen to it and sing along as much as you like. The more the better, if you ask me. Don't tell your parents, but I want you to start annoying them with how much you're singing it. Okay? So, enjoy singing. If you want to send me a video of you singing it, that would be absolutely wonderful. I'd love to hear you all singing. And there will be a video up for Viva La Vida soon. Okay, enjoy then. This day is fragile, soon we might